Have you ever opened your eyes in the morning feeling perfectly fine, only to find yourself moments later feeling dizzy, weak, or just slightly off? If you're over the age of 60, I want you to understand that this isn't something you should ignore or simply brush aside. For many older adults, strokes rarely announce themselves with dramatic, obvious warning signs. Instead, they often begin quietly, with subtle changes that seem harmless. A moment of lightheadedness, a brief slip in memory, or a faint feeling of weakness, until one day the symptoms escalate, leaving you struggling to move, slurring your words, or watching your independence fade away. I'm not here to frighten you, but rather to gently share something that could help safeguard your brain, your health, and your future. The truth is, most strokes don't strike out of pure chance. They often build up over time, fueled by daily habits, especially morning routines, that seem ordinary, even healthy on the surface, but may silently strain your brain's blood vessels and circulation. What feels normal could in fact be slowly increasing your risk without you even realizing it. The encouraging news is that you have the power to change this. With just a few small, mindful adjustments to your morning habits, you can dramatically reduce your risk of stroke and protect your cognitive function for years to come. In today's video, we'll explore 7 common morning mistakes that many seniors unknowingly make every single day. And more importantly, I'll share what you can do instead to support better circulation, maintain mental sharpness, and keep your independence strong. If any of this feels familiar to you, or if you've experienced moments like these yourself, I invite you to share your story in the comments below. You are not alone, and your words might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. And if you haven't yet, consider subscribing to our channel. We're creating a warm, supportive community where seniors like you can learn, share, and thrive together, one healthy habit at a time. Let's start with the very first morning habit that might be placing silent yet significant pressure on your brain. Let me ask you this. When you wake up, do you immediately jump out of bed without a second thought? If you do, you're not alone. It feels natural, the sun is shining, a new day is waiting, and you're eager to get moving. But here's something many older adults don't realize. Standing up too quickly right after waking can quietly put your brain at risk. After a full night's sleep, your body is in a calm, low-pressure state. Blood flow is slower, especially to your brain. When you suddenly shift from lying down to standing, your blood pressure can drop sharply, a condition called orthostatic hypotension. This is far more common and dangerous than many people believe. You might notice slight dizziness, a wave of lightheadedness, or a feeling of being unsteady on your feet. Some even feel as though they're about to faint. While this moment may seem minor, it signals that your brain isn't getting enough oxygen. And for individuals with aging blood vessels, heart issues, or poor circulation, that sudden drop in pressure could trigger a mini stroke, or in severe cases, a full-blown stroke. The solution is surprisingly simple and takes less than 2 minutes. When you first open your eyes, don't rush. Take a few deep, slow breaths. Stretch your arms and legs to get your blood moving gently. Then, sit up slowly and place your feet flat on the floor. Pause for a few seconds to let your body adjust before standing. This short delay allows your brain to receive proper blood flow, reducing the risk of dizziness or falls. If you've ever felt that morning lightheadedness or wobbly balance, it's not just old age, it's your body trying to warn you. I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever felt faint or dizzy when getting out of bed? Share your experience below. It may help someone else understand what's happening to them. Remember, taking just 1 to 2 minutes to wake up gently isn't about being slow. It's about being smart. Protecting your brain starts with this one small habit. And in the next part, we'll uncover another overlooked morning mistake that many people make, even though their brain desperately needs the opposite. Can I share with you a simple yet remarkably powerful habit that many people over the age of 60 often overlook, even though it could make a significant difference in protecting their brain health for years to come? It's this: Drink a full glass of water immediately after waking up. I know it might sound almost too basic to matter, but science shows that this tiny action can set the tone for better brain and body function throughout the day. Here's why it's so important. While you sleep for 7 to 8 hours, your body naturally loses fluids through breathing, sweating, and the normal processes of maintaining temperature and cellular function. During this time, you're not drinking anything, meaning you wake up in a state of mild dehydration. And since your brain is composed of about 73 to 75% water, it's the first organ to feel the effects. Starting your day with less than optimal hydration can lead to thicker blood, reduced circulation, and even slightly elevated blood pressure, all before you've had breakfast. For older adults, this issue can be even more concerning. Dehydration has been linked to an increased risk of stroke, temporary memory lapses, slower thinking and reaction times, and even mood changes. To make matters worse, many seniors take medications like diuretics for blood pressure or heart conditions, which increase water loss overnight without you realizing it. This can leave your brain and body in a fluid deficit first thing in the morning. That first glass of water acts like a natural reset button. It helps thin your blood, boosts oxygen delivery to the brain, and gently wakes up your digestive and nervous systems. It's like opening a window and letting fresh air into a stuffy room. Only this time, it's happening inside your head, nourishing your brain cells and improving alertness. So tomorrow morning, before you reach for coffee, tea, or your daily medications, pause for just a moment and drink one full glass of room temperature water. It takes less than a minute, yet it can help you think clearer, feel more energetic, and give your brain a healthy start to the day. Is this a habit you already practice, or is it something you'd like to try beginning tomorrow? Share your thoughts below. You never know who you might inspire to make this simple, life-improving change. Let's take a moment to talk about mornings, specifically about a common belief many people have when it comes to breakfast foods. We often think that what we're eating is healthy, but in reality, it might be silently putting your brain at risk. Think about your usual morning plate. Maybe a bowl of cereal, a slice of toast, or some scrambled eggs topped with cheese. It all sounds harmless, even nutritious, right? But there's a hidden factor that most people overlook. Many of these typical breakfast foods are loaded with far more salt than you realize, and this quiet habit could be doing real harm to your brain health over time. The issue isn't just the salt you sprinkle from the shaker. It's the sodium hidden in processed foods like packaged breads, instant oatmeal packets, store-bought granola bars, sausages, processed cheeses, and even many healthy whole-grain cereals. Combine a salty breakfast with the natural morning rise in blood pressure, and you're setting the stage for potential trouble, especially for older adults. Too much sodium can stiffen blood vessels, strain the delicate capillaries in your brain, and for those already dealing with high blood pressure, it can push levels dangerously high. This can increase the risk of stroke, memory loss, dizziness, and even sudden confusion. The good news is, you can make simple, effective changes without giving up your favorite breakfast foods. Swap flavored instant oatmeal for plain oats topped with fresh berries or a handful of unsalted nuts. Replace sausages or cheese-laden eggs with boiled eggs, avocado slices, or whole-grain toast with natural nut butter. These small choices can slash hundreds of milligrams of sodium from your morning meal. Health experts recommend keeping breakfast under 300 to 400 milligrams of sodium, yet many processed options exceed that in a single serving, often without even tasting very salty. So, next time you prepare breakfast or check a food label, pause and take a closer look. A few mindful swaps today could protect your brain for years to come. Have you discovered any clever ways to cut down on salt at breakfast? Share your ideas. They could inspire someone else to make a brain-friendly change. Let's talk about morning habits for a moment, specifically one drink that millions of people depend on to kickstart their day. While it's a beloved ritual for many, having it the wrong way, especially on an empty stomach, might quietly be doing more harm than good. Be honest, is coffee the very first thing you reach for in the morning? If so, you're far from alone. For countless people, that comforting aroma and warm sip of coffee feels like the only real way to wake up and face the day. However, if you're over 60, there's an important truth you should know. Drinking too much coffee before eating anything can subtly increase your risk of health complications, including stroke. Here's why this happens. When you drink coffee on an empty stomach, caffeine hits your system hard. It triggers a surge of adrenaline, elevates your heart rate, and makes your blood vessels constrict. This combination often causes a sudden spike in blood pressure. For older adults, whose arteries may already have lost some flexibility with age, that spike can place added stress on the brain's fragile blood vessels. Over time, this may raise the risk of small strokes, abnormal heart rhythms, or even issues with memory and focus. This doesn't mean you need to quit coffee altogether. It simply means you should approach it with more balance. A better routine is to start your morning by drinking a glass of water to rehydrate your body. Then, having a light, brain-nourishing breakfast, a boiled egg, a handful of berries, or a slice of whole-grain toast are all good choices. Once you've eaten, enjoy your coffee, but keep it moderate, just 1 cup instead of several back-to-back. Be cautious with flavored creamers and sugar as well, since they can quietly add extra inflammation your body doesn't need. Coffee isn't the villain here. It's our timing and habits that make the difference. What worked for us at 30 or 40 may not work the same way past 60. And if you find yourself gulping down multiple cups just to keep your eyes open, it could be a sign that other factors, like poor sleep quality or dehydration, are dragging your energy down. How do you handle your coffee routine these days? Have you found a smarter way to enjoy your morning cup without going overboard? Your experience could be exactly what someone else needs to hear. Let's talk about a subtle but crucial topic, those quiet morning signals that many seniors overlook, even though they could be the brain's earliest call for help. Have you ever opened your eyes in the morning and felt slightly off? Maybe you noticed a wave of dizziness, a faint unsteadiness in your balance, or perhaps your arm felt unusually weak for a few moments. Sometimes, even your speech might not sound as clear as usual. It's tempting to shrug it off, thinking, I must have slept in a bad position, or I just didn't get a good night's rest. But ignoring these small, fleeting episodes can be risky. For adults over 60, morning dizziness, mild numbness, or sudden weakness may point to deeper issues, such as reduced blood flow to the brain, sudden fluctuations in blood pressure, or even a mini-stroke, medically known as a transient ischemic attack. These mini-strokes often last just a few minutes and disappear quickly, which is why many people dismiss them. However, they are an urgent warning sign that a more serious, potentially life-threatening stroke could follow. A transient ischemic attack frequently occurs in the early morning hours, as the body transitions from sleep to wakefulness, making this time frame especially critical. If you ever experience these symptoms, don't wait and hope they pass on their own. Write them down, report them to your doctor immediately, and consider using simple apps or tracking tools designed for seniors to log symptoms and detect recurring patterns. When it comes to stroke prevention, every second counts. Your body is incredibly wise. It whispers before it screams. That fleeting moment of lightheadedness, sudden fatigue, or temporary weakness is its way of asking you to pay attention. Have you ever had a morning where something just felt not right, even briefly? Share your experience below. It could help someone else recognize these warning signs early and take action before it's too late. Let's shift our focus to an everyday routine that happens in nearly every senior household, but doesn't always get the attention it deserves: the way we handle our morning medications. It might seem like a simple habit, yet the timing, method, and consistency of how you take your pills can be just as critical as the medications themselves. How confident are you in your current routine? Do you reliably take your pills at the same time each day with a glass of water, Or do you sometimes forget, take them later than intended, or accidentally mix up doses? If this sounds familiar, you're far from alone. In fact, medication mishandling is one of the most overlooked yet significant risks to brain health and overall well-being among older adults. Many seniors rely on medications to manage blood pressure, cholesterol, or blood thinning. These aren't just routine prescriptions, they're powerful protectors, acting as a daily shield against serious conditions like stroke or heart complications. But their effectiveness depends greatly on how you take them. For instance, skipping a dose because you were busy or simply forgot can cause your blood pressure to rise without any immediate symptoms. On the other hand, accidentally taking a double dose because you weren't sure if you had already taken it could cause your blood pressure to plummet or increase your risk of dangerous bleeding. Even seemingly small details matter. Swallowing pills with coffee instead of water, or taking them without food when food is recommended, can reduce absorption or trigger unexpected side effects. The good news is that maintaining consistency and safety doesn't have to be complicated. Simple strategies can make a big difference. Use a labeled pill organizer divided into morning, afternoon, and evening slots. Set daily reminders on your phone or smart speaker to help you remember. Keep your medications somewhere visible, near a routine activity like brushing your teeth or making your morning coffee. And most importantly, never adjust your dosage or stop taking a prescription without consulting your doctor, even if you feel perfectly fine. These medications work quietly in the background to keep you healthy and protected, but they can only do their job if taken correctly. And now, let's talk about one final morning habit that many people often overlook, even though their body gives a very clear signal every single day. It's something all of us do, or more accurately, something many of us delay doing, going to the bathroom as soon as we wake up. Let me ask you something a little personal. Do you ever wake up in the morning, feel the urge to urinate, but decide to just stay in bed for a while longer? Maybe you grab your phone to check the weather, scroll through a few headlines, or tell yourself you'll wait until after your morning coffee. It feels harmless, right? But for people over the age of 60, this seemingly small habit could quietly be putting more strain on your body than you realize. When your bladder fills up overnight and you ignore the urge to empty it, your body doesn't just patiently hold on. Instead, it becomes stressed. In response, your system releases stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, which raise your blood pressure and cause your blood vessels to tighten. That early morning spike, combined with a full bladder, can quietly increase your risk of stroke, especially if you already struggle with high blood pressure, cardiovascular concerns, or have a history of heart problems. But that's not the only issue. Holding in urine for too long can place additional strain on your heart. A full bladder can even trigger abnormal heart rhythms in some older adults, particularly those with underlying conditions such as arrhythmias or valve problems. That combination, elevated blood pressure and irregular heartbeat, is a dangerous storm that can set the stage for clot formation, eventually leading to a stroke or other severe complications. The good news is that preventing this risk is incredibly simple. Listen to your body's signals. As soon as you wake up and feel even a mild urge, make a quick trip to the bathroom before reaching for your phone, your newspaper, or your first sip of coffee. Think of this as your first act of self-care every morning, a small, effortless action that can protect your brain, your heart, and your overall health for years to come. Have you ever had a habit of delaying your morning bathroom visit? Was there a moment or piece of advice that helped you realize it was better to go right away? Share your story in the comments below. You never know who might read it and make a positive change in their own life because of your experience. Now that we've gone through all 7 of these subtle yet powerful morning habits, let's step back and see how they all connect. Stroke and other health problems rarely appear out of nowhere. They often build slowly through the everyday choices we make. Skipping water, jumping out of bed too fast, ignoring dizziness, or holding in urine might seem like harmless habits, but over time, they can quietly wear down your brain, your circulation, and your balance. The best part is, you don't have to completely change your lifestyle overnight. Start small. Pick just 1 or 2 habits to improve this week, listen to your body, and trust that consistent, small steps can protect your memory, your independence, and your well-being for years to come. If you found even one helpful insight in this video, please give it a like. Share it with someone who might benefit. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more simple, science-backed tips to support your brain and body every single day. Your mornings matter, and so does your long-term health.